My name is Mohammad. I come from Bangladesh and I'm a migrant who has settled in the UK. I came here with my mother in the late 60s and I have been supporting my mother who recently was diagnosed with dementia. At the beginning, it was a denial from all of us because we could not believe that my mom was so active and who has always been so supportive of the family. I looked around in my community and in the South Asian community in the London area. Unfortunately, I could not find anybody in my mother's generation who could give us some guidance and some helpful tips of what to do and what not to do, what to expect and what not to expect. So at the end, we relied very much on our GP who provided us with all the support, made all the connections with the local uh, community. But because we come from South Asia, our family values are very strong. We could not allow our mum to go and into a care home. One, we didn't have the financial resources. Two, we didn't get any support from the state. So we looked after our mother as best as we could. And unfortunately, she passed away in a local hospital in Essex on Christmas Eve. That left her indelible trauma on us because we could not see our mum during her last few days at the hospital because what nobody from the clinician's side could understand her and she could not understand from what instructions were given because she did not speak English language. She was a foreigner in this country which had huge cultural challenges. So after her death, I vowed myself to be a voice for the voiceless of all these South Asian women, especially the vulnerable woman, elderly woman who needed our support in order to make their journey free of stigma and die with dignity. This was very close to my heart because I promised myself to be a voice for the voiceless of all the community members, especially the people from South Asia whose language had difficulties and barriers. There were cultural challenges. There were deep seated religious beliefs which made life a bit difficult to adjust in the United Kingdom. So that motivated me to be to share my story and to join in the campaign for people who are suffering from dementia. And AD-RIDDLE helps in early detection and support, and that was very close to my heart. I would begin by quoting three C's. The first C is consultation, the second C is cooperation, and the third C is collaboration. You need to involve patients, researchers, academia, and all the other bodies that are associated in finding a pathway to finding a new treatment plan so support people living with dementia. The statistical fact is as people grow older, they are going to be succumb to this horrible disease. Dementia has no boundaries. It does not distinguish between nations, communities, class, creed. It's a disease that affects the rich, the poor, the minority, and the majority. Therefore, we all have to work together in partnership with the 3C approach to find ways where we can ease the burden, where we can bring some comfort towards people who are going through this horrible experience. For me, as a patient myself, I owe a huge debt of gratitude to all the researchers. I would appeal to all the researchers to please work in partnership with the patients living with dementia, carers with lived experience, so that you can take on board their views, concerns, and wishes. So your journey would be a partnership between your scientific knowledge and the lived experience of family members, carers, and patients living with dementia.